What is going on, party people? I don't like this. I don't like this setup. Let's do this one instead. There we go. What's going on, everybody? My name is Chris Anthony Lopez. It is the hashtag WAT Summer, and joining me to my left, right side of my screen is he's the White Wolf to my Falcon. He is the Captain America to my Captain America, depending on how you look at it. It's Connor Breedlove. What's up, Bubba?
Pretty good. I mean, excited to talk about this show with you. It's been a while, so
right. Because we did WandaVision all the time, at least on for Chris's sake. Go stream that. Yeah. But we haven't really spoken Falcon Winter Soldier. At least we chatted about the finale a little bit, but It was really just like theorizing off of certain things. We didn't really do too much on it. Well, Connor, I want to ask you off the bat. What did you think of the show as a whole before we dive into the finale?
I liked it. Did I like it as much as WandaVision? I don't know.
That's the big money question, right?
I liked theorizing and like needing to know, like the mystery box aspect of WandaVision.
Right.
I liked having to know what was going to happen next with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It was just pretty straightforward. It was just like, okay.
See, I've been trying to like decipher which one I liked more, and I'd be lying to you if I said I didn't like Falcon Winter Soldier more, but I think WandaVision was a better show, if that makes any sense. Like I think
WandaVision. By no means was there anything wrong with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's a brilliant show.
Right.
I just like the like mystery box aspect, like the Lost or like the X-Files kind of thing, where you're like,
totally.
What's gonna happen next? Like I need to theorize, and like I hope my theories come true. With this one, didn't really get into theories until the finale.
I mean, there was definitely a bunch to theorize as the show went on, like the whole power broker situation, which I bet we'll get into once we start talking about the finale and how they're going to handle John Walker, all that crazy stuff. But Falcon Winter Soldier, to me, it may not be the best thing Marvel's ever put out. I know I've seen some crazy people say that. I shouldn't say crazy people. I saw some things that people have said where they said that it was the best Marvel thing ever or some of the best Marvel things in the last few years, which by all means, all power to you. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Like, it's all subjective. To me, it's definitely one of my favorite things Marvel's ever put out. I love this show. Like, I thought it was high octane. Zemo is great. I thought they did Bucky real good. I thought they did Sam real good, especially towards the back half. They lingered and they made us wait until the show finally listened to Sam as a character.
Yeah.
But I love the end product. Everything we got, all 6 episodes, I was like, yes, this is where the party's at. I love all this stuff so much. And of course, you can nitpick the hell out of it. A buddy of mine sent me like the critic score for episode 6 and how it's like rotten on Rotten Tomatoes right now. And in hindsight, after rewatching it once, I'm like, okay, like I understand their criticisms. I may not agree, but I understand what they're trying to say. But this show as a whole, I thought it worked. It worked way better than it had any right to be, especially with the subject matter that we're touching on.
The finale was my favorite episode, besides the Madripoor episode.
Which one was the Madripoor one? Was that 4?
I think that was 3 or 4. I think it was 4, because 3 is when Zemo was introduced, and then 4 is when they go to Madripoor.
That makes sense. Okay, yeah. Like
like the Madripoor episode and the finale, those are my 2 favorite episodes.
I loved episode 5 a ton, like the fallout from the whole John Walker stuff, and and the moments and the conversations that Bucky and Sam had throughout the episode, where it's like, oh, like, yo, like, I hate you, but I hate you, but I love you. I love you too. Like, I love the character development in that episode. Hence why I was saying earlier, like, the show made us wait so long for them to listen to Sam, because we're obviously, we're watching the show and it's through Sam's perspective for the most part. Like, Sam is the main character and Bucky's like, right in the sidecar. But a lot of the show is about Sam Wilson and what he goes through as a character. And then, like, the finale happens, like, whoa, fights, action, shields of multiple varieties, and people are over here exposing themselves, dying, all this crazy stuff. And I mean, I just want to dive into the finale because this because WandaVision made us wait for it, right? They made us like, and once we got there, oh my God, we got there. And I feel like that's what this show was as well. Like, it was a slow burn, a good burn, by the way. Like they made you wait for all this crazy stuff, and then episode 5 happens where you get a lot of the inciting events, and then bam, episode 6 they start off hot.
Yeah, the finale it starts. It literally throws you in,
right?
And it doesn't let up.
No,
like,
foot's on the gas the whole time.
So good, and there were so many, like, if we saw this in a theater, everybody would be cheering. But you know, you talk about the Rotten Tomato score. It's because you get those mouth breathers, you know, just sitting behind their keyboard who don't leave the house ever, and they're like, oh, just getting, you know, butt hurt. But it's like they're talking about, like, this isn't my Captain America, like
sure.
you're shitting on the comics. This happened in the comics. What are you
right?
talking about?
Like this definitely happened. And before we continue, full spoilers, just in case you didn't know, we're spoiling the hell out of this thing. Like, I mean, it's been a few days, and Disney and Marvel have released photos of certain people becoming certain things. So we're just gonna spoil the hell out of this whole show. But I mean, that reveal of Sam becoming Captain America and being Captain America, right? Like, it was so damn cool. And I mean, Danny in the chat off the bat, what's up, Danny? It's comic accurate. I love that costume. Yes.
Wakanda, you know,
vibranium dude.
Falcon Captain America suit was so cool.
And the side by side,
I was like, that is brilliant.
Like, I saw a side by side of, like, the comic costume and this one.
Yeah.
And it's pretty damn accurate. Like, I think one of the main differences that I noticed from the waist up was, like, in the comics, he had a little circle around the star, and this one he doesn't. Which, I mean, oh well, sucks, you know. But
yeah, you gotta make it fresh at least. But it's crazy that we have the 2 Marvel shows that have been put out right now have the 2 best costumes in the MCU.
Right. Phase 4 is not lighting up on the
comic accurate costumes. Yeah.
Right. I mean, Wanda. Geez, I don't even want to think about how fantastic Scarlet Witch looks. But I think low key, if Sam isn't the best costume in the MCU, he's damn close.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I think him in this. The reveal of him, like, flying over New York, and they don't show us that they only show us from the ground. I'm like, oh my God, like, this is great. Because episode 5 opens up with that case, or him opening up the case. And he's like, like, yes, my new suit. And he shield burst through the window. He burst through the window. And I have a photo because, like, this is nuts.
So good.
Isn't that hot, dude? Look at that. And, like, I love the whole shield and, this looks hard. Like, Steve Rogers on a romance that he's tripping.
We're going to see a lot more of this suit on the big screen because we're getting Captain America 4.
And I definitely want to touch on that too a little bit later because Cap 4, woo boy, Cap 4. Damn it! Like, damn it! The show, to me, it excelled on so many levels, and this damn suit is one of them. And Sam's character is one of them. So I'm so damn hyped for what they have going forward with Sam Wilson as Captain America. And Danny in the chat, that was my biggest fist pump moment since the portal scene. Do I have? I definitely marked the hell out when I saw it. I definitely fists were definitely pumped when I saw this. I'm trying to think if it's the best one since the portal scene. Probably. Yeah, because there hasn't been too much to pump your fist at in the MCU. Unless Danny's just thinking big picture.
Yeah.
But damn, yeah. because I was losing my mind when that, and everyone was like, "Whoa!" And a person on TikTok that we both admire, Straw Hat Goofy, pointed my attention that if you have the subtitles on, even the subs change from Sam Wilson to Captain America the second he's introduced, or the second he's like, "I'm Captain America." It's like, oh boy, like that's what I'm talking about. 1,000%. Give me that and so much more. But the finale, like, yes, that was like the thing that kicked it all off. But it was obviously all of our heroes and some heroes chasing the Flag Smashers the whole time.
Yeah.
And these great sequences, the Flag Smashers trying, do this whole, like, we're going to take all these people. I think is it the GRC? Is that what it is?
Yes.
3 great letters. Like the GRC, they're trying to vote on making the world like how it was again. And like the Flag Smashers taking all these folks away. But do you have a favorite bit from the finale that was like, besides the whole Captain America reveal stuff? Like, is there a bit you really, really enjoyed that you're like, damn, if I got to rewatch something right now, that's gonna be the first thing I pop on?
I'm trying to think.
There's some good ones. There's the the Sharon Carter, Carly Morgenthau exchange.
That's what I'm like.
I mean, that whole bit.
That's the first thing that pops to my mind is all the Sharon Carter stuff. Because
let's talk about Sharon then. Let's talk about Sharon.
Because I talked about like the mystery box aspect of WandaVision that wasn't really in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and it makes sense why it wouldn't be. It's just more like grounded. But I want to know what is going on with Sharon Carter.
She's the worst, and I've been telling folks for weeks, and I've been saying for Chris's sake for weeks now, like, yo, like Sharon Carter is the power broker, and like I know Marvel is all about the misdirect, but this may be the one thing that slips through the cracks, and we all have on the money.
Yeah.
But of course, it's like, oh no, like it's not the power broker. But the second the character wasn't introduced in episode 5, I thought to myself, either A, it has to be this big name actor to where we'd be shocked that the power broker is the actor more so than whatever character they're playing. Like the character's name could be John Smith, but if it's Tom Cruise, we're gonna be like, yo, Tom Cruise is the power broker? Like that'd be nuts, right? But that wasn't the case. So it had to be a pre-existing character. It's obviously not Zemo. And who else is it gonna be? Like what's her nuts? Val. Like it ain't gonna be her either. So who is it? Sharon Carter's the only name that makes sense.
Yeah.
And the second Carly was like, I'm disappointed in you. Like, what's the power broker without any power? And I'm like, damn it. Of course. I was still somehow surprised because Marvel always still surprises me with these things.
But let's be honest, this isn't Sharon Carter.
Are you? Oh, you want to bring that? You want to bust that out now? You want to talk about?
We're talking about Sharon Carter.
You want to talk about the S word?
I mean, there's no way this is Sharon Carter that we know.
What are you implying, Connor? Tell the folks at home what you're implying.
Well, what's the S word?
Is it an extraterrestrial that has a certain name?
Oh, I think it could definitely be extraterrestrial. Maybe a little green.
Yeah, a little greeny. If we're thinking scrolls, dude. Oh my god. Oh, now here we go. Right here we go. After Captain Marvel, now everyone's trying to pinpoint who's the Skrull, who's not. But I know there's 5 years unaccounted for, and do we know if she snapped or not? Do we know that?
I don't think so. I mean, it's implied that she wasn't snapped,
right?
But that's based on the Sharon Carter that is presented to us,
right?
So I don't think we know for sure. She could be up with Nick Fury. She could be up there. We don't know.
Damn it! I hate that we're having the Skrull conversation. It's been 2 years since Captain Marvel came out, and of course we've been waiting for like All right, who's a Skrull?
Yeah.
And maybe like since Black Widow hasn't come out yet, we would have had this conversation sooner with certain characters that be in there. But like Danny in the chat, he said nice theory, and Secret Invasion is next year.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that it'd be a political type of thing.
Which makes sense.
It'd be Skrulls in positions of power.
I think every project up until Secret Invasion, there's going to be a hint at someone that we know is actually a Skrull. We have 2 projects already that have been presented to us. And at the end, someone that we thought was, human is actually a Skrull. There's a Skrull reveal at the end of, actually, the last 3 projects. Spider-Man Far From Home, Skrulls.
Right.
Skrulls.
Those are good Skrulls, though. Those are good Skrulls.
Yeah. WandaVision, at the end of that, we had a Skrull reveal. Mm-hmm. And in this one, it's heavily implied that Sharon Carter might be a Skrull.
If they, I know they can't take the same WandaVision approach where they literally show the Skrull transforming in and out of being Sharon Carter and stuff.
I mean, she was in public, and if they looked at her,
she got pardoned.
That
Sharon Carter got pardoned. If it is a fake Sharon Carter, that's the one that got pardoned. And she's all like, "Oh yeah, I'm back in my old position, and like screw the super soldier serum. We're all about weapons and all these government secrets." I'm like, "Well, GD, bro. I'm like, here more things I have to worry about, right?" I thought Mephisto would be the only thing I have to worry about, and then WandaVision's like, "Shut up, you don't know what you're talking about." And now this show is now like Sharon Carter or someone posing as Sharon Carter could be a big deal going forward. Good job, Emily Van Camp.
Isn't it so funny that we're still talking about Mephisto, and I'm gonna laugh so hard when we never get Mephisto.
I'm holding out hope he's in Multiverse of Madness. I'm holding out hope.
I just don't know where this comes from besides the connection to Wanda. There are some like subtle hints, but I mean, those are just hints. Like, there has been no we're getting Mephisto.
Right. But I mean, I think the cicada in WandaVision slapped us across the face with it, but it was some great misdirection. Like, it's really all it was. Like, I think that was the one thing that was like, oh, and because when we saw, or when like you told me about it, right? You told me about the whole cicada tie. I'm like, oh my God, they're doing it. And that's why I doubled down on my Mephisto thing. I'm like, yes. Like Connor showed me the cicada thing. I double checked it myself. If it checks out, all right, cool. It's happening. And it didn't happen. So obviously these like Marvel, they know what they're doing and stuff. So if they are waiting for the Sharon Carter Skrull reveal, we may see it in Secret Invasion. Mm-hmm. She may pop up in Secret Invasion, So like we have no idea what is going on, but the Sharon Carter stuff does intrigue the hell out of me.
We got to remember that this was supposed to come out after Black Widow.
Yes. All these things
there were characters from Black Widow that were supposed to be in here. Florence Pugh had a scene shot.
Yeah, supposedly.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character, B.
Yeah, Val. I got to look up her real name.
It's like 5 different names.
It's like Duchess something.
I'm not going to ever remember it. I'm
going to tell you right now.
Just call her B, right?
It's Val. You get like
Val. Okay,
you can call her Val, but don't call her Val. Only call her Val in your head.
Yeah. But she's in Black Widow.
Are you ready for this?
Florence Pugh was supposed to be in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Are you ready for this stuff? You ready for this? It's Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
Whatever.
That's her name.
Whatever.
That's her name.
But yeah, so we know she's in Black Widow, and Florence Pugh was supposed to be in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes.
So the point I'm getting is what they're doing is tying in a lot of stuff. Everything is going to be connected I think more connected than we're used to.
No, 100%. Like now I feel like everything will tie into everything. Like even with this whole MCU stuff, and I forget who said it. It might have been the main EP from this thing, or one of the EPs from this thing. that was like, yeah, this ties into multiple MCU projects.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, obviously that can be misdirection, and they could totally be lying to us. But I like to think that they're not. But at the same time, oh damn it! Like, wouldn't this be really, really cool if, like, obviously, like, if Sharon's a Skrull, she pops up in Secret Invasion, and that could be what Phase 4 is. That could be the next Avengers thing, like dealing with the damn.
Do we
Skrulls.
think that she's actually in Black Widow and the reveals in Black Widow?
Well, because again, spoiler alert. I guess this time's for Black Widow, though not really Falcon Winter Soldier. But Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, she was supposed to be in Black Widow first, so she is in Black Widow.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to meet her there.
It's supposed to be after Black Widow.
Right. That's why there was really no introduction this time. She just kind of popped up, and we're like,
but the thing is, do you think the hint at the end of this was, that's how it was? But if we saw Black Widow first, we would have been like, oh, she's up to something because we know she's actually a Skrull. Do you think the Skrull reveal is actually in Black Widow?
I know there's again after Endgame. I know there's the popular theory that like Natasha isn't really the one that died.
We see Natasha in the Loki trailer.
You're right, like,
but
supposedly
Natasha.
That has to be Natasha, right? Like GD, but this damn universe. I spent so much time thinking about the MCU. It's so sad, honestly.
It's sad for me too.
But like, I'm over here like, oh, it could be this thing and this thing. And watching that Loki trailer, I love that damn trailer. Mm-hmm. But seeing Val pop up in this, and then like the whole Sharon Carter Skrull thing, obviously to be multiple ties to different projects. Danny in the chat one more time. Maybe one of the Spider-Man and Multiverse or Spider-Man 3 will be a Skrull too. That'd be different, wouldn't it? If there were if it's like other Skrulls from different timelines or other universes, that'd be pretty cool too. I can rock with that. It had to be Andrew Garfield though, because if it's Tobey Maguire, people would lose their minds in the worst way possible, us included. So,
especially if the rumors of Sony wanting to tap Sam Raimi to do his Spider-Man 4.
And that's a whole different can of worms.
We're not going to open it up.
Maybe another day on another show we can open up this rumor of Spider-Man 4 and Sam Raimi.
Open up the rumor mill.
Yeah, we can buy or sell the hell out of that thing. So no, but the main exchange, going back to the original point between Carly and Sharon, and I like the fact I hated it, but in hindsight I kind of like it that Sam was blinded by all that. Like at no point Carly was like, "That's the power broker. You want to know who it is? Right there." It's like, because that seems so easy, and I feel like a lot of these things in this show in particular were easy, especially in the finale. Like they defeated the Flag Smashers with ease. Ease. It wasn't even like a competition. It wasn't even a fight. All it was a delay. They kept delaying the inevitable. And maybe that was a flaw in the Flag Smashers, where they were flawed from the jump. Like the mind or the mindset of Carly Morgenthau was flawed from the beginning. And I know the show's been telling us that for episodes, that Carly was easily motivated or easily swayed by certain things or people.
Yeah.
And the Flag Smashers just fell apart in this, for better or for worse. But like, the second Sam got there, his priorities were Carly, and he's like, I don't want to fight you. We can make this happen. We can do this. It's not like it's not that big of a deal. And she's like, no, like I want to fight you. I want to do all these things, potentially killing him, until Sharon was like, oh, pew, pew, pew. And Carly dies. They straight up kill Carly in this.
Yeah.
Which is I was another like I was shocked that they actually went through with killing her in this. I would have liked to see more of this character, especially with how easily I shouldn't say easily, how Sam almost convinced her to switch sides a couple episodes prior. But like, damn, again, another Sharon Carter like, I don't want to say mess up, but like she has her hands on everything. The power broker is everywhere, dude. Power broker is always watching.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, she just happened to be right there. Kills the one person in the room that knows she's the power broker, because Batroc had got bitched not too long before that. Pardon my French for Batroc the Leaper, but my man got punked right. Yeah. And that's another thing. I'm like, really? Like, you bring back the guy just to shoot him?
Yeah.
Like, well, like, damn, because he started the season hot, and he ended the season on the ground, bleeding out, whatever. But another thing I really dug in this was, I'll save that, because I want to say that Sam's big speech for a little bit later.
Yeah.
But one thing I did question into why those reviews or people's 2 cents on the matter on the show, or on the 6th episode, which I don't want to say series finale, so I'm gonna say season for now, because this could totally get picked up just with Bucky and not Sam or whatever the hell.
Mm-hmm.
But John Walker's presence in the episode felt off to me the whole time. I didn't like, he showed up and he was like, Carly, and he obviously wanted to get revenge on the Flag Smashers for killing Lamar, which I totally understand. But when Bucky intervenes, he's like, damn it, John. And then he's like, all right, dude, come with us. Like, John's like, they forgive him. They have this whole fight in the beginning of episode 5, one of my favorite sequences in this whole damn show.
That was good.
Really kick ass. And then they break John's arm straight up. They take the shield from him. They de-shield him. And he comes back. He's like, all right, we cool. Bet. And like, everything's fine. And I'm like, I know the whole Val stuff later, where they make him U.S. agent proper, and they give him the name and this is my costume, but black. It's like that's great and all, but his presence just felt weird. They were way more forgiving of John Walker than I would have liked them to be.
I think it's because they knew there was a bigger.
Oh, of course, it was bigger picture.
Yeah. And so they were like, we can fight this guy, or we can just be like, hey, come with us. Like, a lot more people are going to die.
Right. Like, I mean, John, he tries saving the truck full of those, not senators. I don't think they're senators, but like those representatives from the GRC. Yeah. He tried, but the Flag Smashers got in the way. Mm-hmm. So obviously he's still awfully heroic, and he gives a shit. He likes, like, he's a good guy, just with morals, and soon to be allegiances. But
okay, I want to throw out some theories. I'm not going to say my theories. I want to hear what you think first. All right. Okay. We were talking about episode 5.
Episode 5,
and I believe it was episode 5 where Zemo is taken to the raft.
Yes, yeah. The Dora Milaje came and
placed into his cell. He sits down and he stares across from him and smiles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who is he smiling at? And then the second one is,
good question.
Who is Val? Like, what is Val's purpose? We know she's in Black Widow. We know that Florence Pugh was supposed to be in this.
Yes, supposedly she's supposed to be in this.
Recruited U.S. agent, and we have to assume she recruiting someone from Black Widow.
Yes.
What is she planning?
Okay.
So, who is Zemo smiling at, and what is Val assembling?
Now, to address your first one, who's at the raft? That's the big question, right? Because we did see Zemo. We saw him only at the end.
Yeah.
He was smiling at all those Flag Smashers blowing up. He's like, yes. Like, mission accomplished. Because that's all he wanted, was to eradicate the Flag Smashers, because they're all super soldiered up.
Yeah.
And he's at the raft, he's chilling. And who is he smiling at? Is it Ross? Thunderbolt Ross, maybe?
The Thunderbolts. That could be hinting at Thunderbolts.
Right. We could be getting a Thunderbolts type of thing. Because we do know, I don't want to throw this out there too soon because I don't want to get hopeful, but we know that Abomination's still around. and that he'll be in She-Hulk. Now, what does that mean exactly? Don't know. But seeing Zemo smile at somebody, which is presumably Ross or damn, who else could it be? That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
I was thinking another like villain.
Like who? Like has someone we met?
I don't know. I really have no
okay.
theory on this. I
think it's someone we've
an
met.
intentional shot to like kind of linger on.
Right.
That like it has to mean something, right?
And that's what makes me think it's Ross. I don't think William Hurt's done doing his stuff in the MCU.
Okay, and that brings me to my next point. Like Val. I assume she's creating the Dark Avengers.
That's
but Dark Avengers and Thunderbolts have some crossover.
Yes, so that's the popular theory.
It could be Ross that Zemo is smiling at, and there will be like a Dark Avengers versus Thunderbolts type thing going on.
That'd be interesting. I know comic book Valentina is Hydra, right? Like that's the second you Google her name, you find Hydra, right? Because that's where the whole Contessa thing comes from. I don't think she refers to herself as Contessa, but I don't want to bring back Hydra. That's something I don't want. I think it's tired. Don't do it again. And unless they will be like Captain America is forever tied to Hydra. It's like, well, fine, whatever. But geez, Val could totally. It has to be Hydra, right? Unless you're tying it back into the 10 Rings with Shang-Chi, if we want to bring that into the mix. Oh, man. Because, okay, so a team is being formed. Because because John's not a bad person. That's also, that's something I want to clear up as well. Like, John Walker's got a lot of flack. But I don't think he's a bad guy. He may have done some bad things, and he said some bad things, but I don't think he's a bad guy. Like I kind of
the super soldier serum can affect your
right. It can affect your
morals and your mentality. So
totally,
we got to think about that. We have to put that into perspective. And his best friend just died. Like, no way am I excusing what he did, but we have to look at that as well. And everything else we know about him, he means well.
Right.
He believes in, what he was supposed to do, but then it just kind of got lost with everything. So I think he's being recruited for bad things, but I don't think he's going to put up with it. I'm sure there will be conflict between U.S. agent and what he was recruited to do.
Totally. Like, and I've had other discussions with people, I've done other shows, and I've told folks, like, I really liked Wyatt Russell's John Walker. Like, as a character. I don't agree with his ideologies. I don't agree with his way of doing things, but I thought the character was a great foil and
you don't have the same viewpoint as Flickinger.
Right. But apparently that was sarcasm. Shout to him. But I'm with I really liked Wyatt Russell in this, and as his character and in the show. Actor. Like when they got Wyatt Russell to start, I'm like Wyatt Russell, and he's gonna play John Walker. Like, okay.
Have you never seen Overlord?
No, I've never seen it. That's a movie I missed. I wanted to see it, and then I heard how spooky it was. Not spooky. I heard how like bleh it was. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, really? It's a hell of a good time.
It's intense, ain't it?
You'll be like, okay, Wyatt Russell is that dude.
Ain't it intense though?
It's intense. It's like a war movie with some supernatural stuff in it, but it's not scary. You can handle it. If you can handle Evil Dead 2, you can handle.
Okay. So, like I really like John Walker as a character because I thought he was a great. He was a guy that wanted to be like Steve Rogers so bad that he misinterpreted what Steve Rogers was doing. I thought it was like he was just a flawed hero, and that's what the character is in the books. Like like U.S. agent was just a flawed guy, He's a lot like we're going to see Peacemaker and Suicide Squad later this year. Same deal.
Mm-hmm.
All he wants is peace, but he'll kill anybody, man and woman or child, to do it. And it's like, I may not agree with his way of doing it.
He doesn't really say that in the trailer. He says something else, but
yes, he says other things. But like I view John Walker in that same sense.
Mm.
So I think John getting recruited by Val, of course, is going to be for some nefarious means. Jesse Swift, what's up, Jesse? Sam, 5-minute monologue, beautifully written and performed. Bucky, I had no choice. Okay, so that was and I definitely want to touch on the end, because the end was absolutely gorgeous because of the two reasons you mentioned, Jesse, 1000%. But the stuff with Val was a great tease. Julia Louis-Dreyfus was barely on screen this whole series, and John Walker is like happy and all giddy to get his new costume, and with what they're going to do with her, I don't know. Maybe she's with Ross or vice versa. Maybe they change the character. Marvel's no stranger to changing characters from the comics to make them fit what they're doing. So who the hell knows? But part of me thinks like Ross is obviously doing his own thing, and Val's doing something else. Jesse's saying, I'm saying Bucky's arc got the shaft.
I think the whole purpose of this show was to set up the new Captain America. We're getting Captain America 4. By no means do I think Bucky is finished. I think this show could have a future just Bucky-centric. And I think that will happen.
Right. Bucky could be the one that deals with Sharon. Like, you can write off Sam to go do some, I don't want to say bigger, because that implies that what Sharon's doing is small, and it obviously won't be.
I agree. I love Bucky / the Winter Soldier.
I love him too.
He might be my favorite character in the MCU right now.
Ooh!
And he has been for a while. I think he's just an interesting character. And most of my favorite moments from my favorite movies in the MCU involve the Winter Soldier.
Right.
I just think he's such a cool character, and I want to see a lot more of him where he actually is, the focus.
Jesse in the chat saying, and that part was well done. I'm saying the closure of his amends is weak, but hell yeah, Sam. It kind of just happened at the end. Like, I don't want to. I think the good stuff in the finale is loud as hell, and to me, it's so damn good. It makes me forget about that. Because I wish they kind of I wish Bucky took his time with that, and we got to see it. I think this episode would have benefited from like an extra 10 minutes, or an extra 5 minutes, even just like a little montage. But like Sam obviously was the star of this whole series, and they blew us out of the water with how Sam was treated and how Sam was turning from Falcon to Captain America within a few episodes, because he didn't want to be Captain America for like half the series. Like he's like, nope, don't want to do it. Nope. Until talking to Isaiah in episode 5, which I think episode 5 is my favorite episode. Episode 5, where he's like, you know what? Like they will never let a black man be Captain America. And Sam was like, all right, bet. Like I'm about to go be Captain America then. And it was just a great, I love episode 5. And they set up Sam to be Cap so well. And Bucky, I still think when Bucky got the shine, I think he was also a standout from this. Obviously, his name's in the title. He's the Winter Soldier. But the stuff in episode 1 where we saw him try to live his regular life, and he can't do that because he has the arm, and he's a guy, and he's killed many a person, and he's now facing the repercussions of that as a regular pardoned dude, walking his daily life, meeting up with this old man whose son he killed, where he had no choice. Like that is so heartbreaking to me. And I do wish we got to spend more time with Bucky over the course of this. I get what the show is trying to do. The show had a message from the second the first episode ended. and like Bucky helped Sam get there, but now I want to see more of Bucky Barnes. And I think Sebastian Stan and Bucky can carry their own thing. I think they're more than capable of doing so. How? I have no idea. But that's like this is how it made me feel. Hearing that I had no choice thing. It was talk about beautifully performed. I think Sebastian Stan's such a great actor. And really anything he does, not even just Bucky Barnes. Like he's really damn good when he needs to be. So I'm 100% all about it. But so that I don't want to talk about the end yet, but I feel like we have to. Do we want some that monologue that Sam had that Jesse had mentioned? That was just him talking to these GRC folks, and him being like, "Yo," it's like, and having like the realist conversation, like all the conversations we had been having about this show, every single one, Black Captain America, people being treated differently, folks in power not understanding our perspective of it here on the ground, walking our daily lives under all these folks of power. Every single thing that could have been touched on, Sam Wilson touched on it, all while being looking like Captain America, being recorded, people watching it on TV all over the world, now realizing there's a new Cap, and it happens to be a Black man who has gone through all these struggles before, and this is probably the most relatable Captain America we've ever gotten. Sorry, Steve, but I don't relate to Steve Rogers as much as I do Sam Wilson, from my point of view. But Connor, while all that was going down, in that whole Sam Wilson, that he got on his soapbox, he was just talking about all this stuff. What was going through your mind? What did you think of it?
I'm just happy that he was able to be Captain America in that moment. Like that was Captain America. Mm-hmm. I was just, happy he got to voice all of this. He had a voice and he could say all the things he needed to say.
Right.
So I think it was like a good introduction to this is Captain America. This is our Captain America now, and this is what he's going to stand for, and this is what he's going to fight against. Like, I think that was like a perfect even though it was like the finale monologue, it was technically like an introduction monologue to our new Captain America.
Mm-hmm. Like I love this bit, and I mean I love the bit in episode 5, the beginning of the fight between Bucky, Sam, and John. I love the bit of I love the bit where Isaiah and Sam talk to one another. But this whole monologue with Sam, and the world's watching him. The whole world is watching Sam Wilson be Captain America right now. And we are seeing why Steve chose him to be Captain America. That's the craziest part as well, right? Like we are watching why Steve chose Sam. And we saw that a couple episodes earlier where Sam tried to sway Carly back to the good side, back to the light. But John Walker, who was Captain America at the time, got in the way of that, not being the example and the role model that Steve Rogers wanted to carry the mantle. And even in episode 5, where Bucky said to Sam, Steve and I didn't know what it would be like for a Black man to be Captain America. We didn't take that into account. And even if we did, they had no idea how to look at it. Well, now we're looking at it. We are all watching it. Bucky's there watching it. The whole world is watching it. And he's saying this directly to world leaders. Imagine, think about how real the conversation was. Like the parallels were uncanny. Like they really were. They were some of the realest things I've heard in a medium or in a property that's based on a guy that turned into a werewolf one time in the comic books. Yes, Sam Wilson, Captain America, did become a werewolf one time, and it's pretty freaking awesome. But that's not what I expect out of my comic book properties, unless you're like Watchmen, where that's all they're about, right? Like when I go watch a comic book movie, I get sucked out of the real world that we're living in, and I go into this fantasy world where all these superheroes or people are billionaires and they make suits for themselves, or they're frozen on ice for 70 years, or they're gods coming from the sky, or they're big green rage monsters. But damn, like I loved this real life monologue that Sam Wilson had, because right when we get sucked out of the real world, we're taken right back to it with what Sam Wilson was saying. And Jesse Swift in the chat, my power is believing that we can do better. Yes, my man does not have any superpowers, but that's one hell of a power to have. Like believing that we can do better as a group against some real life stuff. Falcon Punch. Now, is your new name Captain Falcon? Wouldn't that be cool, right? But I think that like Sam Wilson finally became the character we've been waiting for him to become. Like since we saw him 7 years ago in Falcon and Captain America, the Winter Soldier, Sam Wilson finally became the character that he was supposed to be. Obviously, to start, he was the side character to Steve Rogers, but as time progressed and we got to spend more time with him, and Steve chose him for a reason, we finally see the character fleshed out, and finally see what Anthony Mackie signed up for. Like Falcon ain't just some ancillary character who's just around to be a sidekick. Nah, this is what the character did in the comic books no less than 6 years ago, 7 years ago. And now we're seeing it on television, soon to be the big screen, hopefully. Pretty damn nuts.
You mentioned like how this was, the realness of this property, and the episodes, and especially the finale. And comic book properties are becoming are beginning to be taken more seriously. Do you think this is a response to like the commentary that like, comic book movies are just theme parks?
I wouldn't.
You think they're like, well, you think we're just, we're not real cinema and real real
life
and shows that should be taken seriously.
Right.
We're going to do something serious and we're going to do it well. You think that was like kind of their mindset, or was this like just like we're going to do this?
I think from the beginning that this show was going to tackle these kinds of conversations. And I was hoping that they would. I hope that they would talk about like, hey man, what if Captain America was a black guy? I know we saw it in the series a couple times where it's like, hey, that's Black Falcon. No, that's Falcon, just a black guy. Or like there was this great moment where like the one scene was like, that's Black Falcon, and the guy's like, no, that's Captain America. Like it's like that's what the show was and should have been from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, and I know like Martin Scorsese said the whole like theme park conversation, and that's what I was alluding to. Like, when I go to a movie like this, when I went to go see Avengers Endgame, I didn't think about how black people were viewed in society for those 2.5 hours. That wasn't something I didn't think I'd think about. That's something I never thought I'd think about in the MCU, because we're talking about aliens and evil Nazis and super soldiers and big green things punching each other. And now we're talking about what it would be like if the face of America in regards to superheroics is a black dude. And we're finally having a conversation. Jesse Swift in the chat. It's like Miles Morales is not Black Spider. He is Spider-Man. Yes. Right. And I've said this before. I used to get caught up in saying that Miles is like the Black Spider-Man or the Latino Spider-Man. But that's totally the truth. And it took this show to hit me across the head with it. Like, yo, Miles isn't Black Spider-Man. He isn't Latino Spider-Man. He's not biracial and whatever. He's Spider-Man. And Peter Parker in the books would be the first person to tell you that.
And you can replace Spider-Man and Captain America with like a doctor. Like, it's not a black doctor, it's a doctor. Like,
right. The title doesn't matter. It's
the point comes across because, you know, they're saying like, doesn't matter. Like,
doesn't matter what his name is. The color of his skin doesn't
distinguish.
No
different than a white Captain America.
Right.
It's same thing with like doctors or teachers or literally anything. Like,
and notice that throughout this whole show, every person that said like, "Oh, you're Black Falcon. Oh, you're Black Falcon." Those are Black people saying those things. And again, look at me. I'm the real life example of that. I've been out here saying that Miles was the Black Spider-Man for years, and I've been wanting to see a Black Spider-Man. I want to see this, this, and this. But no, that's not. That is Spider-Man two different ways. There's Miles Spider-Man, Peter Spider-Man. Yes, and that's how you should refer to them. And that's why I've been messing up for all this time. So, like, this show definitely, it spoke these real life messages that may have been a response to the whole thrill ride thing, the whole roller coaster.
At the same thing, I don't think it was because
I think it just happened to be a thing.
They've been dealing with like the struggle with morality for quite a while now. I mean, we saw in Civil War, Winter Soldier, the Captain America Winter Soldier movie.
Yeah.
We've been seeing it in, you know, Iron Man 3 dealt with PTSD.
Yeah. Like, WandaVision just dealt with how people address the 5 stages of guilt, you know?
Yeah. Like, they've been tackling serious issues for a while. It's just never gotten to this serious of an issue.
Something as prevalent and as topical.
And I'm glad they saved it for this because they had 6 hours to tackle it.
Right.
I feel like if they tried tackling it in a 2 hour, 20-minute movie, it would be just kind of, you know, not handled properly because they would have to cut things out. This one, they're able to kind of lament in certain scenes and kind of
they let the show took its time with acknowledging these things.
Yeah.
And even when we forgot, even when like Zemo was hanging with Bucky and Sam and it was the threesome that we never thought we wanted, but here we are and we're like, yay, this is the best. I definitely do want to have a Zemo appreciation minute first at some point in the next half hour before we have to go. But the show, when it would stray away from the real life conversations, they'd suck you right back into it. Like the Bucky, Sam, Zemo stuff, like it was there. They went to Madripoor. It was a whole thing. But then it's like, oh, we're back in the States, and they would never let a Black man be Captain America. And they were like, oh God, oh yeah, that's what the show is about. Like it reminded the folks that this wasn't just a show about stopping super soldiers. At the same time, this is also a show tackling how refugees are being handled around the world. Not even just how a Black man would be as Captain America, how displacement is around this world as well. Because we saw in the 5 years, people just took up space that they can, and then billions of people came back in a day, and we had to adjust to that. Like, and it'd be unfair to the folks that stuck around, and that's what the whole vote was. And that's what the whole Flag Smasher ideal was. Again, I just think that Carly went about it the wrong way. I agree with, and I mean, shit, Sam agreed with her 2 cents. They both agreed about how like things were being handled poorly, but Carly went about it the wrong way to the point of saying like, "Yo, kill whoever you need to kill in the process. Do what you need to do." And like Sam's like, we don't have to kill anybody. There are definitely things we can do about this, and that's why Steve chose Sam as Captain America, and that's why I love the new face of Captain America. Yeah, the suit is hard, and Jesse in the chat saying, "Who knew that adding wings and drones to a vibranium shield would make you an extremely versatile combatant?" He kicked ass with that shield, didn't he? Like, there's a lot of cool stuff with what Sam was doing, but I think this show was just like, it coincidentally fit around, especially all the trials and tribulations and the realizations that people have had about Black people over the last year. We're going back to the whole George Floyd thing, which recently got resolved. Resolved as much in air quotes, as much as you would like to say that problem is resolved, which it isn't, but still, you know what I mean. And like, we're still seeing that to this day. And this show, I mentioned when you were gone that like we go to these worlds to escape real life, right? Like when you watch Iron Man, you're not thinking to yourself, damn, how relatable of a character Tony Stark is. Like, it's like, unless you're an alcoholic, I don't know, or you're a billionaire, you know, like, like that's Tony Stark's. It's hard to relate to him in Iron Man until you get to Iron Man 3. We start talking about PTSD and stuff. Then totally,
yeah.
But when I'm watching this, it's hard for me to watch this without thinking of the real life things. And this is one of the first times, really, WandaVision and this go hand in hand with me watching a program and thinking to myself, damn, this isn't just about superheroes anymore, ain't it? It's about guilt and grief and depression and denial and oppression and displacement. And we're handling all these different topics that you hear in the news every single day, whether you like it or not. Now Marvel is doing them.
Yeah.
Like Marvel's talking about like the big, like if it ain't Disney, if it ain't Star Wars, it's Marvel, right? One of the most recognizable 6 letters in the world right now. And like I watched this great video a couple days ago of Stan. It was Stan Lee before he passed, talking about Marvel and how Marvel, like if you look at the Marvel universe compared to DC, it's really hard to compare the two. I hate the like Marvel or DC. I hate that conversation just because they're two completely different entities. Of course, you can compare and contrast them all you want, and people have their preferences, which is perfectly fine. But Marvel's always been so grounded. When Stan Lee created the X-Men, look what the X-Men represent.
Yeah.
Like an oppressed group, a discriminated group, because they're different. Oh, what? Like, here we are in the year of our Lord, 2021, still having that conversation. Now, instead of it being a whole group of mutants, it's Captain America. And like it's pretty damn crazy. And like Stan Lee was talking about how these characters should be relatable. We should be able to see ourselves as a Peter Parker, as a Miles Morales, as a Sam Wilson, a Bucky Barnes, you know? Like we should be, and I think we do. I have a better time relating to Marvel characters than DC characters. And I know I'm not saying the DC characters aren't relatable, but like I think Marvel's just way more grounded in reality, especially with the origins of these characters and why they got created. Like it's some pretty real shit. And when Sam became Captain America a few years ago in the books, for the little run that he had, it's like, damn, like that was some pretty like earth-shattering shit. I didn't read comic books at the time, but boy, I went to my local comic book store and picked up that first issue and got sucked in, and I loved it a ton. But long story short, yeah, I think the Martin Scorsese comments just happened around the time this show got in production. Yeah. So it just coincidentally fit that it answers that question while also being real and authentic and also keeping within the universe, you know? They still gave us our comic book things. It's not like it wasn't a comic book show. Like we still got the name drop reference or the White Wolf reference. We went to Wakanda for a little bit. Like the whole Zemo stuff, like Zemo's redemption as a character, because Lord Jesus. You know what? I think it's the perfect time to have our Zemo prayer circle.
God, I hated him in Civil War. I was like, this is just some dude.
He was the worst.
Who, you know, who's just angry. Like, and then he pops up in here, and I'm like, oh, this is Zemo. Like,
right.
This is so cool. I love Zemo. And now he's my favorite. Like, is he a villain or isn't he? Like, he's like that like moral gray area.
He still killed T'Chaka.
Like what?
He still killed T'Chaka.
That's true. That's true. He did.
Like, he still did.
But in this show, I'm like, I kind of like Zemo.
I love Zemo, man. He killed T'Chaka. So it's unexcusable. But that happened in Civil War, and that character was poorly written. And this one, like I'm all like preaching the name of Zemo. Like the second we got to talk to him and meet him, and him be like, "Yeah, I've been rich this whole time. Y'all just destroyed my country." Yeah, it's like, well, okay, great. And he's a great fighter, and he's a smooth guy. He has personality, he has a character.
Yeah. Oh, like, yeah, let's touch on that because he was a very good fighter. And I was like, what the fuck?
So where'd this come from?
Before? Like, we just knew he was good at manipulating people. And then we were like,
Right.
oh, he's smart and he can kick ass. Okay.
Right. And my man, he was wearing those trench coats the whole time, with the fur, like, and he had
when he puts on the mask.
Oh my god! So in the trailers, right, for this show, and we sheesh. And the show, and the trailers of the show, we saw him holding the mask, and we're like, oh my god, like they're doing it. They're going to commit to the Zemo mask. And I know in the comics, the Zemo mask is really weird. Like why he has
melted to his face.
Right, but this time he's just like, oh, put it on, nothing too crazy. And he looks so damn cool with it on. Because that's a hard sell. Like, oh, it's your cloth mask, put it on, But damn, they made him really, really cool. And when they went to Madripoor and he's out here, I'm not gonna lie, in Madripoor, I expected there to also be some big villains, maybe like it. That scene in not Captain America. Oh, I'm having it on the brain now, but it's Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. You know what I'm talking about? Like where it was like it was like that. I forget what it's called. I think it's like the Spooky Ghost or something, where all the villains are hanging out. They got busted by what are them? By Mystery Incorporated. You know what I'm talking about? In Scooby-Doo 2? Nope. Damn. Okay. So hopefully somebody gets that reference. But I expected Madripoor to be like that, where a bunch of like B or C-list villains popped up, and they were just hanging around.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Where they're all hanging out.
Yeah, it's called like the Spooky Ghost or something.
Villains.
Right. And Old Man Willikers was there, and it's a real weird sequence because Scooby goes into the afro. It's really weird.
Yeah.
But I expected Madripoor to be like that. But even when Zemo showed up, and they're all like, "Oh man, it's that guy." They all knew who he was. And it's like, yo, like Zemo, yeah, like I can really get behind this Zemo. Like this is really damn cool. Zemo's redemption in this show was one of my favorite takeaways. Like obviously, Sam Captain America, loved it. The whole Sharon Carter stuff, this is interesting. Zemo as a character. If you'd asked me this question 5 years ago, if I wanted to see more Zemo, I would have told you no in a heartbeat.
No way.
Like hell no. I don't want Zemo. Screw that. But now I'm like, give me all the Zemo I could possibly have. Lock down Daniel Brühl on the 9-picture deal. He ain't going anywhere. Like that man.
I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's being set up for something bigger. We'll see.
Right.
I also think Sokovia is going to play a big role soon. A bigger role because they kept mentioning it, and we know they're doing
for a little
something
bit
with Sokovia because they keep bringing it up.
And we were there. That's when the Dora Milaje took.
They had like a memorial, and I think they're going to use it to launch new characters.
My big theory that I've been carrying the torch with. This isn't my original theory. I'm the torch bearer for it right now. But I think Dr. Doom and that's the big one, right? That's where you get Latveria out of the ashes of Sokovia. But granted, my theory was that after Sokovia, 2015, that Latveria was slowly built off of that. And obviously it was just the memorial and a bunch of land. So there's no castle there yet, but praying for the best, and hopefully Latveria pops up somewhere.
Yeah, I think that's what they're doing for sure.
I hope so. For the better of my own greed and selfishness, I want Latveria to be where Sokovia was. And
let me throw this question out to you.
Hit me.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier gets picked up for a season 2, but they're
hopefully.
This is the hypothetical. They get picked up for season 2. What do you want to see in a second season? Do you want to see Captain America and Winter Soldier, or do you want to just see Winter Soldier and his, escapades?
Ooh, because like Malcolm Spellman, that's the name I was looking for earlier. I couldn't remember his name. Malcolm Spellman, the main EP of this whole thing. Like he's the one behind Captain America 4. Okay.
Yeah.
I know folks for weeks have been saying that this show could be multiple seasons, myself included, yourself included, other folks on the channel included, that like this show could be around for a little bit. But that was banking off of Sam sticking around as Captain America. So if we didn't get that Deadline article of Cap 4, I would have said Captain America and the Winter Soldier, bang. Like, give it to me now. Yes, please, can I have some more? But since the Cap 4 thing got announced, will Bucky be a part of it? Who the hell knows? I think we can get more of that Torres character. I think his name was Joaquin.
That it could still be Falcon and the Winter Soldier because isn't he kind of like a pseudo Falcon character in the comics?
Yes, in the comic books, if I'm not mistaken, he becomes Red Wing or like a literal falcon, like a bird, and that's like that's not what I want out of Torres because
I don't think they're going to turn him into an actual Falcon. But he could take up the wings. He could be Falcon now, and we could still have Falcon and Winter Soldier, but it's Winter Soldier and his missions with this new Falcon.
Right, and that's where you can get Sebastian Stan to be your proper lead. Like how I mentioned, this show was Sam Wilson.
Now.
right. You flip flop the names because this show was Sam Wilson's. It was absolutely. From the beginning, no doubt in my mind. But like I said, I really want to see a Bucky Barnes project, and if that is season 2 where we see Bucky and Joaquin, because Sam's out here big timing all his friends, so he's going to go be Captain America. That's something I can get behind. I can be cool with the Cap 4. Maybe Sam goes and deals with Sharon in Cap 4, and then another threat comes up for Bucky and Joaquin Torres to deal with. But who knows? But I want to see more Bucky Barnes, whether it's in the movies or not. And I kind of put those two characters together, Bucky and Sam. Like they've been teasing us with that since Civil War, with their like, oh, I hate you. But now we got this one show together, and now we really want these two characters to be together. I want season 2. I'm not going to hold my breath because that movie's happening, or supposedly that movie's happening with the same guy that wrote all these. But that show ran the show, but we'll see. I don't know. If it does happen, I think it'll happen without Sam.
Yeah.
And it should be Joaquin. Because Sam gave him the wings. He's like, yo, keep him. All right. Like, bet. Go be Falcon then. Like, I could rock with that. Yeah. I can get behind something like that. And another reason why this show, it ties into a lot of stuff. And you can introduce new characters and talk about grounded. That would become like a spy show at that point. Which Bucky,
is what I want.
Right, because go back to the roots with the Winter Soldier, like Captain America, the Winter Soldier vibes, where it's like that political drama, that political thriller. Because damn it, that's my favorite MCU movie still, after all these years, and all these bigger projects and all the Spider-Man showing up and stuff. But Winter Soldier, the movie, is so damn good in my opinion, and it's one of the better MCU flicks. And to me, my favorite MCU flick, I'm not gonna say the best, but my favorite. And I like for Bucky to go back to that genre, but him be the protagonist. I'd really dig that. That's something I can get behind. As long as we get more Sebastian Stan, I'm not going to complain in any medium, because my man didn't get the shield, but let's not forget him too. Like, let's not forget that character exists.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think if there's something else that we missed that was big in the finale. Like obviously the stuff with Bucky and Sam at the end, Sharon, Carly, John. I think did we get everything? I think we got everything. At least the big stuff.
One last theory to end on. Who was Sharon talking to at the end? The stinger.
I don't want to say the cop out easy answer, but it could tie back into the Secret Invasion stuff. Like that I think this could be a great pathway to Secret Invasion. And look at the names that we've gotten in the last few weeks or months. Like obviously Sam Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn. I'd watch anything with those two guys at this point. You add Kingsley Ben-Adir, because I've fallen in love with that man over the last 6 months. Like, have you seen High Fidelity on Hulu?
Yes, and it's brilliant.
And isn't it fantastic? Oh my God, I love that show.
It's a crime that got canceled because that is a beautiful show.
I know one of these days on For Christ's sake, I will talk about High Fidelity, and you'll be the first person I call. Because my God, it truly is a crime that show got canceled. And he was so good in it. Like, Kingsley Ben-Adir was so good in it. And then obviously in One Night in Miami, I think that was like his breaking performance. You know, all those guys, really, the entire cast of One Night in Miami. But Kingsley Ben-Adir as Malcolm X, geez, his Malcolm might have been closer than Denzel's. Dare I say it? But like, yeah, he's gonna be the antagonist of that show supposedly. I think that was it like Olivia Colman is tied to that show. Emilia Clarke just got announced to be tied to that show.
Yeah.
The cast for that's going to be wild, and I wouldn't be surprised if she's on the phone with Kingsley Ben-Adir. I would not be surprised if that's the case, because I'm really starting to buy the fact that Sharon's Skrull, and the real Sharon's either dead or trapped somewhere off planet, maybe.
Yeah.
Like that.
I don't know if it's like how much weight this has, but I saw a post somewhere saying that originally they were gonna have her talking to Norman Osborn.
Ah, son of a biscuit.
And he's like behind everything.
Okay, so Norman, geez. I mean, again, it was a matter of time, right? With Spider-Man, because, and this, yeah, I'll mention this anyway. Screw it. So that Sony Marvel deal that went down, that's making them get Spider-Man and the other Marvel projects Disney Plus after 2020 something, whatever the hell year. Yeah. I think that's a great way to tell us that Spider-Man's sticking around, and them introducing Norman Osborn is inevitable. Maybe that's how the third movie ends, with Oscorp showing up, and then maybe Peter meets Harry or something, like when Peter met Harry. I want to see that movie, the rom-com too. But I think that's how we can do that as well, because I've been a big advocate for the old Avengers Tower being the Baxter Building, but the more time goes by, and although we have an official Oscorp. Fantastic Four movie happening, it could easily be Oscorp, and that's maybe the direction they're going. And at this point, it probably makes more sense, especially with how the Fantastic Four, and it depends how they do them. We'll see. But Norman buying that building, being that buyer, and Tony Stark just having no idea who Norman Osborn is, that could make a lot of sense. And then tying them into the Skrulls, and that's another Dark Avengers Thunderbolts type of thing.
Exactly, yeah. You
bring in the Green Goblin, or the man that was the Green Goblin, or he still could be, who knows? Like, that's another good conversation to have on the future of these characters, because I know, like, I may catch a lot. If I were to tweet my opinions on John Walker, I'd probably get annihilated for them. But I really like John Walker's character. I hated his methods. I hate how he went about things. I thought he was an incredibly written character.
You have to remember, this is a show. You can like villains. Like, if they're written well enough, you're going to like the villain. You're going to be like, that's a kick-ass villain.
Right.
Like, that's why people complain. They're like, oh, Marvel doesn't have good villains. But then when an actual good villain that makes you hate them, like, that's a good villain, and you're complaining about it, they gave you a good villain. Like, a villain.
Yeah, he was an antagonist, but he was...
Like, he's the antagonist.
Right.
He is, in all sense and purposes, a villain. He's portrayed as a villain. Right. He's written really well, and you have an emotional reaction to him. That's a good villain.
Right.
Like, don't be pissed off about this character. He's a good character. I like how he was written. I like how I like how Wyatt Russell. I like his performance as John Walker. Great character. So I'm with you.
And I and I'm eager to see his future. He's obviously sticking around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I want to see
because we like him doesn't mean we like what he did in the show as a character.
Fact. And people get that
how it was performed, acted, how he was written, just all that. Like, great character.
Right.
I'm 100% with you.
No, totally. And what's up, Buck? What's up, Brandon? Thanks for coming out and hanging out with us, homie. But I do really enjoy Wyatt Russell's performance, and I'm eager to see where this character goes. And I don't want this to become a whole conversation about the internet and how fans view certain things, but that could be misconstrued. If I were to go on social media right now and say, I love John Walker and the Falcon and Winter Soldier, or as the end card said, Captain America and the Winter Soldier, then I'd probably get a lot of flack for that, because we've seen other folks on social media, one that you've mentioned earlier, get a lot of flack for expressing any type of interest towards John Walker. But I didn't think he was a bad guy. And Cameron Thomas in the chat. What's up, Cam? Sam Stu is fire as F, bro. Like, it's so damn hot. Hold on, I gotta pull that image up one more time because it's so damn hot. Bam! Look at dude, like, that's hot. And then the second one, a little more clear. Yeah. That's so dope. Oh my God. Sam Wilson is the man of the hour. And really the man of the 6 hours, because we only got 6 episodes of the show.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the idea, like, I'm excited for John Walker's future. I'm excited for all these characters' futures. There's not one that left me like, meh. Because even after WandaVision, like, again, I think Marvel's been hitting dingers, dude, right out the park. Like, they're really killing it right now. And the next one is Loki, and that's looking fantastic. And we were talking about the trailer a little bit earlier. That trailer is hot. It's hot as hell. So Marvel is on fire. They're absolutely killing with what they're doing, and I'm over the moon.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about Loki in the coming months.
Right, and we do have some time to kill. We got a little bit over a month to kill before Loki even debuts on Disney Plus. So hopefully we can have more conversations like this, Connor, on the channel. Hopefully,
we'll see.
Hopefully, if the WAT gods will let us, we'll have more conversations. But to wrap, or before we wrap, what did you think? No, but before the plugs, we're not done yet.
Oh, okay.
We're not. The next show they'll start at 8:30, so we want to give them time. But what did you think of one more time of the whole show, like from start to finish, after the hour 18 plus discussion that we've had about this whole show, the characters? Is there something you wish they could have done better? Something you wish that or something you think that they nailed? Something you wish you saw more of, for better or for worse?
When it ended, I was like, man, I miss theorizing. I miss that frenzy that WandaVision gave us. But then the more that I'm thinking about it, talking about it, I really love this show. Was it what I expected? No, it isn't. Am I pleasantly surprised? Absolutely. I loved it. It was great. We've got a new Captain America who's kick-ass.
Right.
Zemo was redeemed. Great show. Great show.
I said at the top that I thought WandaVision was a better show, and I preferred Falcon Winter Soldier. But after talking about it for the last 80 minutes, I think that's a real coin flip. I think the better shows, because they're two drastically different programs, and it's really hard to compare the two. And WandaVision had some filler, had a lot of filler in some cases, and Falcon Winter Soldier, they had none. There was no filler. They made every moment count. Every minute meant something to the show, for better or for worse. And although the finale, I can poke holes in that thing, I think the positives drastically outweigh the negatives. And this show as a whole is just so damn fun to watch. And episode 5 was my favorite. I think what you said, 4 and 6 were your favorites. Like, and for good reasons. Like, I don't think there was not a bad episode.
There's not a bad episode.
But I like, obviously the back half, where everything was really starting to come into fruition, it was it was just one hell of a program. But we do need to go. Unfortunately, I could keep talking about Marvel all day. All this, I know we touched on the Sam Raimi Spider-Man stuff. That's a whole different video for a whole different day. But we do have some plugs. And Connor, we just started doing something yesterday that we're pretty excited for.
Yes, we have a Discord. You can just go to Discord, look up WAT. I'll actually post the link in the comments here. Give me 1 second. But we have a bunch of different like rooms that you can talk about things. We've got our like general chat room where you can just talk about news. We'll post some news items in there.
Right.
Talk about our thoughts on the news. We also have like Real Talk Room, Really Scared Room, Wrestle Reel, all of our shows. There's even Schmodown Room for
Spin from the Reel,
where you can talk about all things Schmodown. So definitely check that out. Join up. It's a lot of fun. I like posting the news in there. Get some good conversations going in there. So you don't want to miss out on that. So there's that. Tomorrow night, we have Really Scared. And that is with Mona Kabani. Probably mispronouncing that, and I do apologize, but we're going to be talking about Let the Right One In, which is fantastic. So we're going to be talking with her about Let the Right One In. That's live at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
So don't miss out on that. It's going to be a lot of fun. We now have the Really Scared background.
Good. No, I was not Really Scared last week. So if you have some time, how long we talk Evil Dead? For 2 hours?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I was on Really Scared last week. We talked Evil Dead 2 to be exact. It was a really fun show. Really Scared is like they have their guest pick a horror movie, and it's so much fun. Connor co-hosts that with Taylor Cleek.
Yep.
With one of the real homies. So 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Obviously, Wrestle Reel is also a thing this upcoming Friday. We have myself and Nick Molbach talking about the latest and greatest, in our opinion, in pro wrestling throughout the week. I know Kenny Omega is going to be real hot topic, real hot button topic. The belt collector himself. We're going to be talking about him amongst whatever the hell else comes out in wrestling. I know AEW is on right now, and who knows what comes out of those damn shows every single week. So just check out our programming. Connor and I's Twitters are in the bio of this video. So if you want to come and follow us on Twitter, we are very active on Twitter, talking about literally everything we just talked about here and a plethora of other things. So subscribe to the channel, like the video. If you're watching this after the fact, leave a comment. It is greatly appreciated. And seriously, like, subscribe. If you like what we got going on here, we mentioned Really Scared. We mentioned Wrestle Reel. Real Talk on Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Spinning from the Reel, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on Mondays. And Connor and I think we can say this, not the title of it though. Connor and I have something in the works right now.
Yeah.
Going forward, and if you join our Discord, you can get a tease at what that is.
You can get first access to what this show is going to be. So don't miss out on the Discord. I'm telling you, it's going to be a lot of fun.
If you liked talking to us here, then by all means join the Discord. I know we've already been pretty active on it. There's room for every single show on this channel so far, and like we said, you can get a glimpse at that show Connor and I could be doing very, very soon. The second we get the Annie, Are You Okay? We are going to do that show. But Connor, is there anything else we missed, bro, before we let the dog check take over?
No, I had a lot of fun. I can't wait till maybe this gets to be a weekly thing. We'll see. I can't wait.
I hope this was our pilot. This was definitely our pilot, and we're hoping we get picked up for series. I really hope so, very, very soon. But I had a blast, brother, per usual, and we'll chat, dude. You already know. But for Connor Breedlove, my name is Chris Anthony Lopez. It has been a hashtag WAT Boy Summer.
Don't miss out on Dog Check coming up next.
Damn right, on Disney Channel. Wait, no, it's a whole different thing. Okay, bye, guys.